I had to pay, money out of pocket. I had to pay $2,000. I believe it was $1,937 to be exact. I've never like went around and missed assignments and turned in assignments late. Like, that was so not me. I owe $8,780. I'm spending so much time chasing this plan B, I ain't got time for my plan A. I'm putting my plan A on the back burner, barely even trying it, and I just didn't want to do that anymore. I was just tired of chasing something that I didn't fully want to do. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Yasherica, and today's video is going to be why I dropped out of college a second time. Okay, so since this is the second time, I already have a video on what happened the first time. Now, I feel like I kind of picked up on some of the things on why I kind of dropped out again a second time. I feel like I touched a little bit on that in the first video, so this one really shouldn't be that long, especially because with that time I had to kind of think back 2 years ago, and this is more recent, so it's more fresh on my mind on the reasons I left and everything of what happened. So I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. Basically, honestly, this was my worst semester. Like, I have a history of AB honor rolls, coming from like high school. This particular semester was for my sophomore year. It's the first semester of my sophomore year. So, and again, like, this is a 2-year gap. Now, during that time, I was studying real estate and kind of going into that. So that's something that I'm working on now and that I'm still in. So, for what I want to do, my career really didn't go with college. It was something different, something extra, more of a backup plan. So, that's my story. That's how I'm starting off. So basically, like I said, I already have a field within real estate. I already know that that's something that I wanted to do. So the stress wasn't worth it because my degree wasn't needed. So if you didn't watch the first video, I was going for marketing. Okay, that was my major. And with marketing could be used for anything. Pretty much everything needs to be marketed. So I felt like going for that would have been beneficial, but there's different ways to learn. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways to learn that, and I felt like what I was doing in school just wasn't worth it for me, because like I said, I already have my career picked out. This is just something that I'm looking to more learn, and so I really didn't need it as a degree per se, because I really didn't know how I was going to use it, if I was going to use it. Like, I really didn't plan to use it. If you're working for, let's say you're working for a marketing firm, that's a situation where, you would need a degree. But if you're looking to learn it, you don't really need that degree. So the stress that was coming from the classes really just wasn't adding up to me as far as, what the future would have held with that degree, because I really didn't plan to use it. Now, the stress. Now, I took on 6 classes because I honestly thought I could handle it, since I had done so well with 5 in the previous semesters, both semesters of my freshman year. So I was like, what more could one class do? But I would also say, like, my schedule was a little bit all over the place as well, which is not how I originally had it. I was supposed to have Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. All Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I wasn't supposed to have school Tuesdays and Thursdays. But something happened with one of the professors. One of the professors changed her schedule like last minute after registration. After I already registered for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she decided to make it a hybrid class for only Tuesdays. So I'm like, great, okay, now I gotta go on Tuesday. It was just better. With college, there's so many other people, okay? So that's one thing. There's so many other people in there that, like, when you register, it's kind of hard to move around classes. It's kind of risky because, certain classes have to be taken before others, so like a prerequisite class. And so, you don't want to miss classes like that because it can throw your schedule off and everything. So I didn't really trust to try to find another, Monday, Wednesday, Friday class for that one. So I just kept it with her. I kept it with that professor for Tuesday. Okay, so that's that. And then another one of my classes, it was supposed to be an afternoon class. It was supposed to be, was it 3 o'clock? It was supposed to be 3 o'clock, right? That professor, for whatever reason, didn't come that semester. So the school just moved it for me and put me in a 9 a.m. class. Okay? So, mind you, this class is supposed to be at 3 o'clock. My schedule, if I'm not mistaken, was supposed to start at 11. It was supposed to be 11. First class start at 11. Last class end at 4. So that was how it was supposed to be. I was supposed to have all my classes on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Now, one of them was online. So that would have been 5 classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But, like I said, the one I was supposed to have at 1 o'clock, that's the one that moved to Tuesday. Okay? And then the one that I had at 3 o'clock, that's the one that moved to 9 a.m. Right? So, alright. If I have a class at 9 a.m., I don't just show up at 9 a.m. Like, I need to be there before then. I gotta have time to park. I gotta have time to, walk and get to class. So I'm there at 8 o'clock. 8 a.m., right? So I'm there at 8, right? But I don't have a class. Okay? The first class starts at 9. Now, mind you, my schedule is supposed to be from 11 to 4. So 10 o'clock, I don't have a class. So I'm just there, right? That's 10 o'clock. My first class is supposed to start at 11. I still have the 11 o'clock one. I still have the 12 o'clock one. The one that I was supposed to have at 1, that's the one that moved to Tuesday, right? So that's another break for me. And then I still have my 2 o'clock class. So that's 7 hours of me on campus, and I only had 4 classes, right? So I'm basically there for 3 extra hours. Like, so that was something else that I had to deal with. Like, 2 of the professors switched it up last minute and kind of threw off my schedule, because honestly, like, I wasn't planning on, with that schedule and everything that was going on, I couldn't do my real estate. I couldn't operate like that, knowing, because I've already done a real estate transaction. I kind of knew what to expect, and I'm like, I can't work like that. I can't function like that. I'm in school all of this time. Like, I know it's a lot of phone calls and stuff involved, depending on who you're working with, whether it's a buyer or a seller. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to do any one of them. I wouldn't be able to do it with that time I had going into school. It just wasn't going to work. So it kind of messed me up financially as well. Now, I didn't even have this whole story on my notes, but I'm just trying to explain like where my stress came in at, you know. So all of those things threw me off. The schedule change, that definitely threw me off of my original plan. And so, you know, I felt like, okay, it's school, this is taking up too much time, too much of my time and too much of my money, you know what I'm saying? So that's where my stress was coming in at. And then, like I said, I was looking to learn marketing. I was looking to more learn marketing, not like, sorry y'all, this lighting is messing with me. But I was looking to learn marketing, not like be an actual marketer. I wanted to learn it more for me. You know what I'm saying? Like things that I have going on, because I do more than just real estate. You know, I do this YouTube. I have a small business as an entrepreneur. Like there's other things that I plan to do and add and grow to my titles. And so, you know, I just wanted to learn how to put everything out there, how to market them. I didn't really want to be a marketer for like other people. So I just felt like, you know, yeah, it's definitely not worth going at this point. I'm better off just picking up a book and, you know, reading books, podcasts, watching videos on it. You know, that's better than going to school for it and like wasting all my time, because that's definitely where I feel right now. That's how I feel about it. I don't feel like it's worth going anymore. As I mentioned before, I wasn't going to use the degree. I really don't know any real way to use it for things that I want to do, because a lot of the things that I want to do involves like me being alone, you know, being solo, being an entrepreneur, things like that. You know, I'm not planning on working under any company. The only thing that I'm, you know, doing right now as far as real estate, I have to be under a company because I'm an agent. You know, I'm not a broker. If I was a broker, then I could, you know, start my own real estate firm. But as an agent, you have to be under another company, which is fine, you know, depending on which brokerage you're with. You know, it does allow me to be more independent, so I'm cool with that. But as far as working under a company to do marketing, that's not really what I had in mind. Like I said, waste of time, waste of money. In the last video, I told y'all I would put in this video what I owed. So right now, as far as my student loans, I owe $8,780. Okay, which is really not all that bad, being that that's really for 3 semesters. Now, I did freshman year, I had scholarships. I didn't know that my scholarships were only going to cover my freshman year. Had I known that, I probably wouldn't have went back to college at all. And I mentioned, I'm sure, yeah, I pretty much mentioned that in the first video, that going back this semester, I had to pay, you know, money out of pocket. I had to pay $2,000. I believe it was $1,937 to be exact. I think that's what it was. But yeah, I pretty much paid that out of pocket. I didn't have to do that freshman year, so that was a surprise to me. But yeah, I did pay that out of pocket. Definitely regret it. Was not worth going, not for me. Now, this isn't a diss in any way to the college that I went to. It was a great college. It was Coastal Carolina University. Good school. It's a very good school. I love the campus and everything, but you know, it's just the reason that I was going for it. It just wasn't worth it for me and for my career and the things that I want to do. But you know, yeah, I spent a lot of time again on campus with the schedule change, but even without that, you know, it still would have been a lot of time, because the assignments are so they require so much work and critical thinking and stuff like that. It's, it's nothing like high school. I talk about that some in the first video as well, on why I dropped out the first time. But yeah, college assignments they take up a lot of time and work and effort, to really kind of, it's really to put you in whatever field you're going in. But for me, I just did not have that type of time to be putting into it, especially when I'm already in my career field, because for real estate, that doesn't require college. It does require, you do have to go to like a real estate school, but it's definitely different, shorter, and separate from college. So with me already within my career, whatever they were teaching me for that, it really wasn't fitting in with my time and fitting in with my finances at the time. So I pretty much just felt more comfortable leaving it at that and ending it based on my time and my finances. Like I said, I had too many classes. I had 6 classes. I turned in less assignments. Honestly, I turned in assignments late. I've missed a few assignments, and received zeros, and those, it was just too much. Honestly, it was too much. Like I said, the classes, it was 6 classes, way too much for me. But also, I will say, like I said, these are big assignments. And so when you have that many big assignments for all these classes, you can only get so much done without wearing yourself out. Not to mention, how shifted my schedule was, and I'm there for 7 hours, with only 4 classes. It really didn't leave me that much time when I went home. I'm so tired, I'm burnt out, I've been in school all day, now I gotta come home and do more schoolwork. Like, it was just too much. It was entirely too much for me to handle. Honestly, like, I barely lasted to the end of the semester, which is new to me, different to me. Like, I've never like went around and missed assignments and turned in assignments late. Like, that was so not me. But what can I say? I was burnt out. I was just burnt out. It was too much. This semester was entirely too much for me. Honestly, like, I ended up failing 2 of the classes, so 2 out of the 6. And honestly, that's a first. Okay, that's a first. That's the first time I ever failed classes. Like I said, coming from any grade, I haven't failed a class, but coming from ninth grade to freshman year of college, it was all A's and B's all across the board. So I had no C's, no D's, let alone an F. But honestly, like, it didn't affect me that much. It didn't really affect me at all. I wasn't really, like, upset about it or depressed about it, because I knew that I did my best. I knew I gave it my all with my circumstances, So it really wasn't that big of a deal to me. Now, I do have, like, another video that I'm going to do that is going to be, like, why school grades don't define you in the long run. It's a difference between using your grades short term and long term. And I want to talk about that in the next video, because I'm not going to hold on to this 2 F's forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. Things can change. Things can always change. So that's pretty much, my story. As far as the 2 failed classes, one was my online class, which was financial accounting. Now, that is a tough class. Now, for me, like, I like math. I used to really, really love math, really be good at it, and, really like it back in high school. But in college, I still like math. It's still my favorite subject, but I'm not as into it as I was in high school. One, it is a little bit harder, but for this particular class, I will say this is one of the classes that I failed more due to like timing. I spent so much time on campus and in class and doing those assignments. I kind of pushed that class to the side because it was online. I really did not have that much time to do much of anything, like simple assignments, like simple homework I was failing. So if I'm failing the homework, I'm not doing good on those quizzes and tests. So that's really what it was. It came up to timing when it came to failing that class. I really just did not have enough time to be able to do my assignments for that class when I had all these other classes and all these other assignments to do. So that one was based on time. Now, another one I did, another class, the other class I failed was management and organization. That class, really wasn't on me. It wasn't 100% on me. It was a group project we had to do in that class. And that group project was almost the entire semester. I would say, give or take maybe the first 2 weeks, we were still getting settled in. People are leaving the class, new people are coming in. So after the first 2 weeks, the project pretty much start, right? And so it's been from that point to the last day of class. That's how long the project was. And in the semester, it's 16 weeks. So 14 weeks I had to deal with a group project. No, just no. No, that was not for me. And I'm pretty sure I talk about that a little bit in the first video as well. But yeah, that was not for me to be working in a group for that long. No. Again, with my career field, real estate doesn't require me to work in a group. Now, there are a lot of people that I have to know and I have to communicate with, but we're not it's not like that. It's not like that. And most of the time, it's not even that long. Closings happen pretty quick depending on the situation. So for me, I really just didn't. I just wasn't comfortable. Okay, working in a group for that long, I just was not comfortable. It was not comfortable for me, and that took up a lot of my assignments in the class. A lot of the assignments in the class was based on the group project, so that kind of affected me on why I failed that class. But like I said, I knew that I did what I could do, the best I could do, so I'm not worried about it. I'm honestly not. And I'm pretty sure I have another video on that's basically the next one. That is the next one I'm going to do. So yeah, why it doesn't, your grades don't define you. And I'm talking about that in the next video. But that's pretty much my story on why I left the second time. It was just too much, and it just wasn't worth it for me, for my career. And I'm gonna have a separate video on why you should and should not go to college, so I can have all the tips just there. That doesn't really necessarily have to do 100% with my story time, but I think what I will say is I think it's very important that you're going for something that you want to do, and make sure you know what you want to do, know the exact position and everything, so you can know what exactly do you need, what degree do you need, or if you need a degree at all, because it's a lot of things that go on with college, and it's sometimes, depending on your situation, you don't have to go through that. You know, you just don't have to do that. So make sure that you know what you want to do. Now, marketing was supposed to be, like, for me, my plan B, but you know, after a while, like, it's just not worth it anymore. I got tired of chasing a plan B. Like, I'm spending so much time chasing this plan B. I ain't got time for my plan A. You know, I'm putting my plan A on the back burner, barely even trying it, you know. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. I was just tired of chasing something that I didn't fully want to do. But I will also say, if you have a plan B, make sure that your plan B is still something that you're interested in and want to do. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Because I wasted so much of mine. Like, I'm talking years, y'all. I'm talking years. Not days, not weeks, not months. I'm talking years. So, you know, if you're in college already, or you're in high school and you're thinking about going to college, or you know, you already dropped out as well, I hope this helps somebody in either one of those places in your life. Like, I will say, like, when I dropped out the first time, I was so depressed about it, and I talk about that. If I didn't talk about that in my first video, it's definitely in another video I did about how I found God as a teenager. So I'll have those videos down below in the description. But I was very depressed the first time. The second time, y'all, I honestly did not care. I honestly did not care. My GPA, what was my GPA? I think my GPA was like at a 3.6, I believe, in the beginning. And it dropped down to like 2 something, 2 point something, 2.0, 2.1, somewhere in that range. I'm going to try to, if I have it, I'll put it in this video. I'll put a picture of them both so you can see. But you know, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video that I do on, you know, basically why school grades don't define you in the long run. So that's gonna kind of explain, like, why I feel the way that I feel, why I don't really care about it. So yeah, that's next. Now, I also said that I would answer in this video, will I go back a third time? Will I go back to college? The way I feel about it right now, no. I don't see it. But, you know, knowing me, it still could be a possibility. It's a possibility. I could go back for marketing. I may not. I may go back for something else. Like, it's possible. But, you know, it really depends on how well I think I'm doing in other things that I have going on. You know, if I feel like I'm doing well in other things in other areas, I may not try to go through college again. You know, if I don't feel like it's going to be worth it. So, right now, my answer would be no. But you never know. You never know. I may do a video on deciding to go back. But right now, it's a no. It's a no for now. So, again, I hope, you know, this video was helpful for somebody who's, again, in college, or, you know, in high school, or already left college. You know, maybe you left college and you just wanted to see if, you know, maybe you made a wrong decision, or, you know, you're already in college and you're feeling like, you know, you don't want to do it. Now, sometimes, you know, depending on what you want to do, you got to do it. You know, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, those are things you definitely have to go for. So it depends on what you really want to do. But and if you're in high school, you know, I don't say any of these things to discourage you to not go, but I definitely recommend you know what you want to do, because and have passion for that. Because if you don't have passion for that and you're going through whatever you're going through in college, it won't be enough to keep you moving. You're going to want to quit easily, like I have, you know. So if you don't have that passion or that thrill you're more than likely going to drop out as well, and you know, not want to continue. So make sure you're going for something that you really want to do, so that you're not wasting time and money like I did. Okay, so that's my advice for you guys. And stay tuned. I do have other videos. I'm gonna have my advisor playlist in the description, as well as my learner playlist. Learner playlists involve things with school, high school, college, different things like that. Advisor is basically me giving advice, but most of the ones in those ones are outside of school related topics. But stay tuned for those videos, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.